Welcome to the show, guys. Good evening, good night, goodbye. Hello! Fernando, you want to step in the frame?
Hey guys, what's going on?
Fernando, introduce
Yes.
our guest tonight.
All right, so what do we have tonight? They can introduce themselves.
I'm Ken. I'm Logan.
From?
German Maestro.
All right, there you go.
You had one job.
What do you have?
You had one job.
And we have this guy right here.
Well, as promised, tonight we have our two guests in from German Maestro.
Yeah.
We're going to spend some time with them going over the history of German Maestro and whatever else they'd like to talk about. It sounds like it's going to be a really good, fun time, so sit back, relax. We do have some German Maestro beer. We'll talk about that later.
Yep.
So pop the top on yours. Let's sit back, relax, as Ken tells us tales of fun and excitement in days of futures past. You ready, Ken?
Yes. Should have brought a campfire.
I know.
Better,
Come
right?
on up. Come on
Yeah.
up. Come on up.
So I'm Ken Strepka. Been in the business since '88. Started at a place called Speaker Warehouse where JL Audio was born. Jim and Lou were the original owners, and that's what the JL Audio name came from.
Jim.
Jim and Lou.
Really?
Yeah, not Jerry Lewis Audio.
No. I
Yes,
didn't know it was...
we're-
Okay,
yeah, it was
sorry,
Jim.
guys.
Okay, sorry, sidetrack.
As we all know... No, we're not sidetracks, so it's all about. As we all know, I'm not the biggest JL Audio aficionado. But... So... Really?
Yeah, for real.
Dude, head is blown. No
Yeah,
kidding.
yeah. It was
What was their
basically
names again?
Jim and Lou.
Jim and Lou.
Yeah, Jim and Lou Cho. Lou Prony's engineer. You know,
So
is the
both
head
of
engineer.
them have 3 letters in their name. Jim and Lou.
Jim and Lou. No,
Yeah.
Jim
Yeah.
Birch and Lou.
Yeah, but I'm just saying Jim,
Yeah.
and Lou.
Oh, yeah. So,
yeah.
So, you know, car audio is
Okay.
coming out of the primordial ooze, and shows are getting more popular, and this brand called MB Quart comes into the U.S. market. We were, you know, in the early days of car audio, we didn't have all this box stuff that you guys have now. We had to get...
We had parts.
We had parts. We had
We
an
had
Audex
parts.
driver. We'd get a, you know, this
Yes.
tweeter.
Oh, I remember.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was going to tell that I was telling a funny story. We were trying to do a 60 millihenry choke, and I had 4 15 millihenry coils. I'm 20 years old, and I string these things together under the seat of a customer's car. And guy comes back a couple days later. He says, "I think there's mosquitoes under my seat." I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Get in my car. We're listening, right?" And I hear, so the coils are like chattering. Learn lessons, right?
Yes.
Don't do that shit anymore.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that. Yeah, we don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
So.
Another piece of advice: if you ever do get some form of an amp dyno, 1,000 hertz will make your amplifier sing.
Yes.
Yeah.
You'll hear.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
like, oh, okay, that's not good.
That's that frequency that I
Yeah,
love. That's all I
yeah.
listen to in my car is 1K.
Oh, it's the best.
It's the best.
Oh,
The best.
yeah. Make sure that playlist isn't in rotation.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
that's always a good one.
Oh, yeah. So here comes this brand called MB Quart, and they have everything boxed, and there's the crossovers in the box, and everything's like a kit that is
Done.
functional. It's done. And the rest is history. We started winning competitions going around the country. You know, in Cardio magazine, we had magazines still. It was
what
I
are
know
those?
magazines. Yeah, it was back in my day.
You know who still makes magazines?
Ooh,
Japan.
yeah. Well,
Dude, they have awesome. We actually have a viewer that sends us those.
they also have like more vending machines and.
Yeah. That's besides the point. But their
Yeah,
magazines are awesome.
Yeah, they have
so-
everything. It's awesome.
So that speaker box of the way in the top?
Oh, the Caddis area.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They came from Japan.
Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, I've seen that brand.
Yeah,
there.
so it's a high res. It was a joke because he's like, you can buy high res speakers here for $50 a pair. I'll
Okay.
send you some, and we're like,
No,
oh, that kind
really?
of defeats the whole purpose of the high res. But
Yeah.
all right.
So
enough on
how
high
much
res.
does a logo cost so I can put it on?
Yes, exactly.
exactly.
And that's basically where we're at on that
I
one.
buy a logo.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
all right, so I'm this young guy who loves car, and I was just like anybody who's watching this right now. I was a kid who sat at home and did my own installs, and got lucky enough to work at a place where 34 years later, I'm still loving this business. But we started winning shows. I mean, we dominated. So JL Audio had subwoofers, and we used precision power amplifiers, MB Quart speakers, mids and highs, and street wires, and that was the winning combination. That was in all the cardio mags. That was your winning. If you put those together, you'd kind of place in the show. And if you took it to another level, with tuning, we didn't have DSP back then, but
EQTs.
EQTs, yeah, and we would tune things the old-fashioned way with knobs and screws.
There you go.
But it worked, and I guess, and I'll tell you what, you gotta pay a little homage to this old farts because we keep pushing the thing forward, and hopefully you guys keep it, going forward. But so in 2002, Rockford Fosgate bought MB Quart,
The German company.
The German company, the actual German company in Oberheim, Germany. Their intention was to kind of do the same thing that everybody was doing in the 90s and 2000s. Take the technology, go to China, make it cheap, and put it out there. Well, the German employees they said, hell no, they're not doing it. So they fought, and they fought, and they fought in litigation for about 5 years.
Really?
Yeah, it was a long time. And then,
so that'd be why they kind of fell off the map there for a while.
Correct, yeah, because it was mostly lawyers involved, and it was pretty ugly.
I wonder why they sold the company if they were just going to turn around.
So, I'll be honest with you, on that part of it.
Yeah.
The thing that was going on was that in the U.S., MB Quart was growing massively. So we had a huge footprint. We had more cash flow in this country. And, it was supposed to be a partnership that went awry quickly. They went in right away. They said immediately they just wanted all the molds, tools, take them out. And that's what makes us special. Not, we don't ride the short bus. What makes us special is that we really focus on manufacturing speakers that are absolutely designed for car audio. Okay, so if you look at everything that's out there today in car audio, and I'm not denigrating any brand because everyone has their brand they like, but,
of course.
But a lot of what you see now is very pretty, right? It's beautiful. It's got the nice etching, laser etched outside, and a lot of things that don't benefit the speaker. Big heavy cast baskets, heavy motors. We don't sell speakers by the pound. Our top end kit usually weighs about as much as like a mid-bass driver from some of the high-end brands that we know out there, because when you're at the sales counter and you're making a presentation, like the flashy blingy things, and we're an engineering company, and we're the last vertically integrated manufacturer left in this business. So going back to
I was gonna say
going back to the sale.
So Rockford litigation 5 years.
It's about 5 years, yeah. And Rockford at the end just dropped a turd and said, look, if we can't have the company, they sold basically the brand, the moniker, to Maxonics. Maxonics, bought every company that was awesome back in the day, and everything's made in China, right? So we still have the same factories from '62. We're same manufacturing plant. We haven't changed a bit.
So how did they get the plant back? Because obviously it was Rockford's.
No. So that's the one thing that I can't figure out, that no one can really tell me. All right. And there's probably legal reasons.
The mysteries of the unknown.
Right. There's probably legal reasons why we don't know that little detail, but I don't believe that Rockford owned the building. I think they were buying into a company, and I think there was a lot of
so they bought enough of it to control the name.
Right, exactly.
And that was it.
And that was it. So they fought back, and I believe we're better than ever.
So when did German Maestro come about? Because obviously after the name went away, I'm sure everyone was kind of poo-poo faced, and I mean, that's the easiest way. I was like, they lost.
Right.
At the end of the day, they lost. They lost the name MB Quart.
Well, that's why if you look, our M is very
similar to that,
right?
Yeah.
So,
right.
But
it evokes that.
It evokes that, so we know.
So it should have been Berman Maestro.
Berman, yeah, oh yeah, right, like Steve Torbs and. But no, that's the reality of unfortunately when. They were, in 2002, every manufacturer in car audio was growing beyond their I think all of their intention. I don't care who the brand was, whether it was JL Kicker or MB Quart.
It was definitely a boom.
It was booming, and a lot of things were slipping through the cracks. And
as with all booms, nobody expects it to bust.
Oh, and in 2006, the bus came. In 2007, the bottom fell out.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
we were all there. You weren't, but we were.
Yeah.
listen,
I was not.
when
Not even there.
I had my retail store, I had guys who were flipping pizzas in 2002. And they were coming in, smelling good, looking good, and I'm like, "Did you rob a bank?" And they said, "Well, yeah, not really, but I'm a mortgage broker, I'm a property appraiser," and literally, I'd have keys thrown at me, and whatever it takes. I'm like, so I did some research. I said, "Hey, you guys should squirrel some cash away because this is gonna bust." And they said, "Oh, you're a pessimist." I said, "Well, I'm an eternal optimist. I'm a small business owner. I only have optimism." And so I. Yeah, in 2004, I called the bus, and everyone thought I was nuts. And I don't know anything about the markets. I'm not that guy. I don't invest at all. But it's clear. You can see, what
We were
goes
doing
up.
really well back then.
Oh my God.
So we have a lot of love from the people, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Kenny says, "How you guys doing? Do you guys remember Adolfo
Oh,
and
my God.
Frank from
Of course.
Ariel from
How-
the Speaker Warehouse?
Of course. Who's asking that question? That's awesome.
Kenny Marshall.
Yes, I do. They're my bros. They're my Cuban brothers from the Hialeah Speaker Warehouse location.
Nice.
Ooh, Hialeah.
Ooh,
Don't
Hialeah.
get caught in Hialeah.
Good evening, guys. MB Quart
You
Premium
get some good food in
Components.
Hialeah, though. I'll tell you, I guarantee
I
you'll
got
get
lost.
a good meal.
I got lost in Hialeah driving the Alpine Dodge Ram,
Oh,
and I ended
God.
up in the warehouse district, just kind of lost.
Oh, that's Medley. That's lower.
Yeah, I don't care where it
that's
was.
like- yeah,
It
it's all
said
the-
Hialeah on the paper
Yeah.
map I was using
Yeah,
because
yeah.
this was before Google and all that crap. So I just kept driving, and eventually I found an interstate, just got on it, and said, "I'll figure out where I'm at in an hour. I don't care."
Well, so when I got into business, they needed help in Hialeah. So I take 95 and it's 103rd on 95, and when you go west, it's West 49th. So I'm lost, and I call, and again, this is before cell phones, before
Yeah.
it. So I find a 7-Eleven. I'm like, hey, I'm lost. Like, where you at? I'm on West 49th. They're like, what do you mean West 49th? I said, yeah, it was on 103, and now I'm on West 49th. They go, you're on the same road. I'm like, why would you do that? That's
You were right there.
So I'm on the phone, and I'm like, they said, yeah, there's a Catholic school, and I look, and I turn, and I'm like,
Oh yes.
right across the street. That was awesome, but I'm like, you get lost quick over there, and everyone drives like their hair's on fire.
Did you ever do anything with Sound of Ice down there?
I never,
Yeah.
no,
It's
me
probably-
and Sound of Ice were never good
Yeah,
friends,
thank
at all.
All right,
All
we
right.
have one more. I remember having to cover the crossover because the light of the bulbs,
Oh,
the interior, they were too bright.
so, so that was a short-lived thing, and if the light bulbs were lighting up, that means your
It was
amplifier was
DC.
clipping. It's DC, so that's we have thermistors on there now. But yeah, if light bulbs are lighting up, that means that you have clipping and distortion, and it's a gain issue.
In the end, we'll pull the we'll pull the crossovers out and take a look at them.
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
because they're very pretty. So German Maestro decides to get back into the speaker business.
But they never really left. They're
Okay.
always in the business.
All right,
yeah.
well, all
Yeah.
right. So doesn't really take off in the United States.
So there was a representative who used to. He was a president of Eclipse Electronics,
Okay.
and 2009 or so, he was representing the brand. He was trying to reintroduce it to retailers, and he wasn't having very good success.
He did it in a very old school way.
Yeah.
I guess is probably the best way
Very
to say
old
it.
school.
Okay.
So the market at the time had changed so much that they weren't receptive to the new. They weren't receptive to kind of the old way of doing it. Like everything was changing, and the internet was becoming a big thing, and the old way of doing things to get a brand into the market just didn't work anymore.
Right.
Things had changed completely. I mean,
He was very pushy to a lot of the retailers,
Oh.
and that's kind of a problem. When,
Yeah.
he
Nobody
was-
likes to be
And he so when you're
back, baby,
when you're
in your
working
corner.
for Fujitsu 10 Eclipse, and they have I don't even know how many bazillions of yen.
Yeah.
There was just he was
They were making
working.
awesome cash registers.
They did,
They
and
made awesome
scanners too. It's
Oh,
funny.
yeah.
It's funny. I remember when this my son Logan, when we're in the hospital and the nurse rolls in the scanner, Fujitsu 10.
Yeah.
So they're involved in everything.
Which
yeah.
is why the radios were called Eclipse.
Eclipse, right? Exactly.
Yeah,
And
you
he
can't
was-
sell a radio that says Fujitsu 10.
No, it's not.
Wow.
No one's buying anything that says Fujitsu 10 on
It sounds like the
Yes, Catazaria.
Catazaria.
Yeah.
Just make it up as you go.
Yeah.
But
God
but
bless
yeah.
you.
So he thought that he can adopt the same tactics like these big head unit manufacturers with small retailers, and they just weren't having it. So it was hard, and he wasn't. You gotta, if you're trying to reintroduce something, you gotta have an ambassador who actually cares and not just trying to get a paycheck. We didn't get involved with this here for money.
No.
We got involved with this to protect it,
Yeah.
because it's been this bastard child for a long time, and we just.
So when did you, as a retailer, find German Maestro and get excited like, oh crap, this is the old MB Quart? Because obviously you had to find it. Like
Yeah.
when I first came to you, I was like, wait, what? You know, so there was that, and I'm sure a lot of people are the same way. They're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So we now know the history of what went down
Right.
and why the current MB Quart exists the way it does.
Right.
But German Maestro was introduced in the U.S. It didn't go so well, but somehow it found its way into your door.
So 2010, I contact this particular representative who was representing it back then, and we moved.
Did you know by then that this was the old MB Quart?
I had just learned that.
Okay.
I had just learned that it was the old MB Quart by talking with this guy who was running Fujitsu 10 and Eclipse, and we had moved to an area in Central Florida, the Space Coast, because Logan went to a really good school. That's why he's, you know, when you made a comment, he's a genius. He really is, like, Logan really is super
He's a smart kid.
Super smart.
Leave
He
it
was
at that.
part of a
smart kid. Shh.
He was part of a rocket. Yeah, he was part of a
We went
rocket.
to space camp, all right? We saw the movie.
Wait. Well, better than space. We should have brought the certificate. He actually was part of the L-Cross launch. He was one of 4 kids in the whole country.
Nice.
Yeah, he was there in Mission Control, and he was on NASA TV with a plaque and everything. Yeah, so my
Nice,
son's really,
nice.
Logan's really smart. Okay,
This
really
proud
smart.
moment has been brought to you by Ken the Dad.
Proud dad.
There you go.
So,
No, I'm joking.
So the sad.
I think
the
everybody
reason-
knows how I feel about my kids, so
Yeah.
it's all right.
I'm really lucky. He's
Yeah.
a really smart guy.
Yeah.
But so I contact him to bring it in, but we lived in an area where the consumers didn't have a lot of money. Like $250 for a system, like a whole system, was a lot of money, right? So I had a good customer who really loved us, and he wanted a big system. So I contact this particular rep, negotiate whatever the shipping terms are, and then I go to make the order, and he says, "Well, you know, I was thinking, you know, you're not buying enough. You should buy more." And this completely put a bad taste in my mouth, because I would never
Yeah.
do that to my customers. If you came in and we talk about a price and you come to do the system, we do the system, and if you want more, you. But
Yes. It's not a bait and switch.
yeah, I said, this is kind of weird, and we just had a really bad relationship about it. So I shelved it and moved back down to West Palm after he graduated from school and all that, and we were a dealer for other high-end brands, and I don't want to talk about the
Yeah,
brand,
no,
but
no.
we weren't having any love or simpatico with them, and I was looking again, and I was going through, and there was a show, the AYA, the car audio shows in AYA shows in
Are you authentic?
Are You Authentic?
Yeah.
The Emma, they say they do the Emma thing and
Yeah.
all that for,
Okay.
for competition. And one of my friends was there back in 2017, and he took a picture, and I said, wait a minute, so I contacted him again as a retailer, ordered a few pieces, actually what you see
So
here.
you contacted German Maestro.
Contact German Maestro and say, hey, do you have any representation? He said, no. The other guy's gone.
So you had to call Germany.
Yeah, I had to call Germany, yeah.
See, that's devotion right there. That's just straight up
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. Well, first of all, the people at German Maestro are there. If they were here, you wouldn't think they were from German Maestro. They dress like us. They act like us. They're
Well, why
super,
wouldn't they? I mean, yeah.
well, because when I first met,
I mean, you got somebody on the phone, so clearly that's telling you right there that, you know.
when I was 20 and all the guys from MB Quart came, they were like 8-foot tall Germans and, you know, black suits and pin ties, or very serious, you know, terrifying,
Yes.
right? I mean, they were like serious about business.
Right.
And here's Oliver wearing hoodies, and he's got a goatee. He's like, the CEO's like super cool. He's like completely the opposite of what you would imagine from a high-end brand. Yeah, so
Nice.
that's what's cool, because
No pretense.
no pretense whatsoever.
None.
There's just a lot of cool things that are coming out that we haven't had a chance to even let anyone know about.
Yeah.
It's just me and Logan. We have our weekly meetings on Skype. Hey, we think we need this, and they're like, a day later he does a 3D prototype. What do you think about this? Like, we have for the 4-inch, we have you saw the 4-inch kits that we have the adapters, and they work from the entry level all the way to M, right? Problem is that we have one for BMW, one for Mercedes, and we have these tabs that are old. It's from the old MB Quart. Whenever we make a basket, we make 10,000 baskets. We don't make a couple for a run, right? So we
Right.
made these clips, and we had a bazillion clips. And Logan just said, hey, is there any way that, on this 4-tab, you've seen the 4-tab mount,
Yes.
can we just do a 5th tab? And the next day, he sent us a 3D prototype of, we call it the turtle mount now, so it has a fifth head. And all you do is
the 3-hole BMW.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
Also, I should probably mention, so our 4-inch is kind of a bit different from most guys' 4s. if you see the video, we're talking Knowledge Fest. I believe I showed you that actually.
Yeah.
So for our star style mount, the speaker actually twists into the adapter. So this is the same 4 stays, but we have this new plastic adapter. Something else kind of cool that we kind of realized after the fact from changing it to a new plastic type adapter from metal is that for guys who like doing pillar mounts, like the pillar pods, we now have a super tight solution to mount a 4-inch.
Oh,
so,
nice.
so instead of having to have that extra provision for the the 4 tabs, instead you just have this circle you can spin the speaker into.
I remember
Oh,
he
yeah.
was showing me.
Yeah.
He put it in and then he twisted, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
dude,
Well, now
this
we have
is so cool.
Right. So if you think that was
Yeah.
cool, now we have a new and improved version. But I can't 8-inch Marine. We just called them up and said, hey, guys in Quart want an 8-inch Marine. It was only COVID that slowed us down because we have to get tooling
Right.
made
Yes.
by other manufacturers. But
Oh yeah, and by the way, we have an 8-inch Marine.
now we have an 8-inch Marine. It'll be out
Fourth quarter.
fourth quarter of this year.
Yep.
We have a Marine pod, a can coming out, right? So, and we didn't even ask for it. We just anecdotally we said, hey, it'd be good if in the future you guys make it. He 3D printed one, and we have a prototype. Yeah, so we're
Works.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things about us is that we're kind of a unique unicorn brand because we literally have a solution for every vehicle,
If we
every
don't
size.
have one, it's coming.
Yeah, we don't have one that's coming. Like we never had a 3-inch driver ever. We got a 3-inch driver coming out, and it's going to be adapted, so it'll be 3 inches, but you can go down to 2.75 for some of the weird
some of the Toyotas and stuff.
Toyotas and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a pretty badass. We've already
Yeah.
seen the samples of it. Pretty awesome stuff. So
Yeah, that's
All
your
right.
next year.
So you give them a call,
yeah,
and you're like, hey, I want some cool stuff. We're gonna place an order.
Yeah.
You get the German Maestro stuff in. Obviously, falls in love with it. Makes it real easy. What happens next?
So no matter what brand, that in all the years I've been doing this, every manufacturer wants you to try the top end, right? All the high end. So we ordered a pair of the Alphas, which are a bargain for what you get. I mean, it's $225
Yeah, they're-
retail
Yeah.
for a set of German manufactured speakers that come with a 3-year warranty. So it's right. So and it's funny too because Oliver's like, why? So I ordered a pair of these, pair of the separate Alpha, and a pair of the Status 6.5. And that made our opening order, right? And there was
3 pairs of speakers.
3 pairs of speakers. That was our opening order, delivered
Okay.
from Germany to our door. No coming back and saying, well, you should order more. No, that's
Yeah.
freight. The freight deal's a freight deal. And Logan goes ahead and puts a pair of the Alphas on the board.
Actually, this exact set.
Yeah, we put a pair of these in my wife's car. She had, I don't know if I can talk about the brand, but whatever. She had
She had brands.
she had a really good brand at her door, and my wife is our control, so we put stuff in her car. We don't tell her what's in her car, and she comes back and says it sounds like shit. Take it out, or it sounds
Yeah.
It's simple.
Yeah,
Simple. It's really easy.
Women are real simple when it comes
Yeah.
to that stuff.
So Logan puts these on the board and basically calls me. We have this Dynacrawl track that it's our control, and says get out here on the floor, close your eyes, listen to
What's
this.
the song?
I can't remember what it was. Damn it, you got me. It's been a long time since. That was our control
Yeah,
back in
we changed
2017.
it
We have more
since, yeah.
music now.
Okay,
times have moved-
2017, huh?
Yeah, 2017.
Oh, back in
I'll-
2017.
No, this was actually from around from 2008 or 2009. Yeah, I think it was The Look of Love or something like that. It's a track where it's very simple and you can really get a lot of
Yeah.
depth. So he says, "Close your eyes." I close my eyes. He does the switching. He says, "What do you like?" And I kept picking on not knowing the German Maestro, and these were going against a $1,200 kit on
Yeah.
our board, right? So all of our installers come out, my wife, and the rep for that other brand. His office was across the street from our. I said, "Hey, come on over, take a listen to these."
Because he's a
And
good friend of ours.
He's a
So
good
he-
friend of
he
ours
didn't-
too.
yeah.
So it wasn't, and they were like
I feel like
roasting.
in this industry, you have your loyalties, but you can still appreciate good
Oh,
sound.
totally.
You have to.
Yeah.
That's all I'm about.
Everyone knows where my allegiance falls, but that doesn't mean I don't want to own everything.
Well, of course,
I mean,
absolutely.
It's like
You know,
I can appreciate everything that's nice.
for me, my longevity in this business, I'm a to a fault a loyal dude. I don't just switch, and it sucks. I wish I wasn't like that. I wish I could just carry any brand and not care. But
Yeah.
once the emotion's gone, the emotion's gone.
Yeah.
And I've been with my wife since '88, and I've been in this business since '88. So I don't make wild changes, and everything that I do under our our retail side is all about the customer. That's all that's important.
Right.
The money's it's irrelevant if the guy's mad and he's putting bad reviews on.
Yes.
Right. And it sounds like crap.
100%.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really, for me, it's a simple metric, right? So
Yeah.
get good gear, make it sound good, make the customer happy, pat him on the ass, and hopefully he comes back and brings more friends, right? That's
Right.
it.
Yeah.
That's
So-
what we're experiencing. That's what
And
we're
that's what you're
experiencing.
taking to this.
Right.
So you listen to it, you fall in love again.
Mhm.
It's like the long lost girl. You
Your
met
first
in high
kiss.
school.
Your
The
first kiss, yeah.
and now she's back. How did we transition from our first kiss to dun, 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 marriage of becoming the reps for German
Should I take
Maestro?
this one?
Yeah, Logan will take it. This is
Okay,
actually
So
this is actually his doing, 100%.
So let me kind of take it back a little bit. So he had his experience with the line, and I had my own. So I'd always heard the legend of MB Quart, the original one, the real one, you know. And I hear guys all the time because I've been around this business since I was like
Born.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Forever?
Born.
Yeah.
So I vaguely remember the seeing the old MB Quart stuff, and we get the opportunity to bring this in, and I was impressed because I've always heard the old saying, "Don't meet your heroes,"
Okay.
meet your heroes.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I was blown away because I had heard a lot of high end stuff, at that point. And I couldn't believe what I was hearing. This is before I knew anything about the line and the way they do the manufacturing, all that stuff. Just as a cool German-made line of speakers, So, fast forward, we're kicking butt with this line. Like, we had guys who had their old stuff. They heard this, and they're all like, "I need this now. I need this in my life."
So were you buying and having it
So,
shipped directly
yeah.
from Germany?
Yep. So we're having it shipped
Okay.
direct from Germany.
Okay.
And about 2018 or so, I got the bright idea, like, hey, these guys don't have anybody representing them here. You should ask them, So I pop over an email to Oliver in Germany, and he writes me back. He says, well, actually, we're talking with someone right now.
Ooh.
So I'm like, all right, whatever. I'll still carry the line because we love it,
Yeah, it's not like it matters. It was just a random thought.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We didn't set out to as a rep firm or anything like that. In fact,
As a matter of fact, in honor, full disclosure, I was 100% against being a representative. 'Cause,
Yeah.
we have a retail store. We're in 5,000 square feet, and we had 6 employees, and I'm pulling my hair out, and just
Yeah.
and I'm telling them, hey, you want to add one more layer of something else, right? But the entire intention was to protect the brand,
Yeah.
right? So it didn't just go to a distribution and just wind up on all the websites, and
Right.
so we wanted to make sure that this was preserved.
this is a
to the public.
conversation.
Yeah, it's a conversation,
Yeah,
right?
this is
Oh, well,
this
that's
isn't
why
some-
we're here.
And you have to understand too, another thing with Logan, he got into the business officially when he was 14, and by 18 he was jaded. He was like a 40-year veteran. Oh, this business sucks, and he's spitting and he's got a cigar. He just
You
didn't
learned
like.
well from Dad.
Yeah, well, he didn't like the politics, right?
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
all the nonsense of what happens
Yeah.
with
And-
anything
Yeah.
involved with.
And honestly, I come from the new school, so I'm in the DSP and all of that, and I realize that there's not a lot like this, because at that point I knew about the line, I knew that they're basically the only vertically integrated manufacturer.
Let's talk about that for a minute.
Sure.
Vertically
Yeah.
integrated
Love it.
manufacturing.
Before you
we
go
do
that, Brian Miles, thank you, man. Dan has a question. Is the 3-inch driver going to be wideband, or you need a tweeter to get the 20K?
So in regards to that, they're still prototyping it, so I'll be able to I'll probably be back here to show that. when we
Okay,
have it
all right.
ready.
It's
So-
not a secret. It's going to be a full range 20 to 20 hertz 3-inch driver.
So it's gonna be a middler.
No, 20 hertz to 20K.
20 hertz to 20K.
Yeah, I know. I heard you. I
Full
ignored
band
that.
up.
I ignored that.
No, so they're still ironing out the details.
Okay,
but when
so
it's
we'll
ready,
know more because it doesn't exist yet. It's
No.
a prototype.
Well, but it will exist real soon, and it's even all of our mid range naturally roll off. You don't
yes.
necessarily have to have a crossover on all of them, but it's so we were looking at some of the bandwidth specs. I remember the graph, but
as it is, it's pretty wide.
starts to
band.
roll off around 10K,
Which is what most of them.
most of them do. Yeah,
Yeah, most
That's
start to-
natural. You can't.
Most start to take the 10K dip. 'cause
we're not that awesome.
Yeah, we haven't figured out.
Mother Nature still
Wizard Cone
dictates.
will only do so much.
That's it.
What's up, Paul?
But our tweeter on the on the status and the M series can go play down to 20 to like 1600 cycles at 24 dB. So yeah,
Rick Booth says hi.
Rick Booth in
Rick.
the house. Paul, oh, that's my boy Paul Donlin.
Yeah.
I forgot my glass.
It's okay. Like I
can't
said,
see
don't
anything,
even.
yeah.
It's good you did because you don't even want to stare
Can't
at
see
it.
anything. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about vertical integration again.
Yeah, sure.
What are we meaning when we say that?
So what MB Quart never told anybody is that they're actually a full plastics manufacturing plant in addition to a speaker manufacturer.
So they manufacture plastic.
Yeah, so they make like parts for intakes, coffee machines, all sorts of like high end.
We touch a lot of stuff
yeah.
in our daily lives here that
And
they're plastic. We make our
Yeah.
baskets out of. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
sometimes you need that in order to pay for your hobbies.
Yeah.
You know.
So
But that was backwards. So that was like they added that afterwards.
Oh,
They didn't start-
okay.
Yeah, they didn't start. They didn't
All
start
right.
doing that. It kind
no,
of like
yeah.
happened.
They started as a speaker manufacturer, became a plastics. It's
Yeah.
kind of fun.
Yeah,
the
that
way it
makes
works
sense.
out. But
Money's money.
so like all the plastic parts you see in here, any of the baskets, even like the little face plug they have on the status kit to convert it from component to coaxial, the tweeters stand off, all the little mounting brackets and all that. Anything that's plastic that comes in the box is actually made in their facility in Germany.
Okay.
So they have extreme precision control over every part of it. They even stamp their tweeter diaphragms. Like even from the Alpha kit, this titanium tweeter is actually stamped in house. It's
Nice.
just nuts.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of plastic in this environment, so
Mhm.
I mean, if that's their thing,
Yeah.
it's just
It's-
one less thing somebody
yeah.
else has got to do.
And it's cool because they have complete control over everything that they do.
And that would be why you have the turnaround time where he can 3D mold something and then
Yeah.
yeah. There's another company like that we were talking about earlier where the head engineer is the guy that owns the company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they can make changes. I don't like
Right
that.
away.
All right, well, let's make a new one.
Well, it's it's refreshing because being in the business for so long, I'll go to a show and ask a manufacturer just anecdotally say, hey, would it be kind of cool if you did this? Like, we're working on it, and then you don't hear anything about it, right?
Well, the one thing we've found talking with all the manufacturers we get the fun with now is that it's an 18 to 24 month period to come up with any idea.
Right.
To actually be at a point where it's like in your hand, getting ready to it's on a boat somewhere, and that's kind of like industry standards, and it still drives some of these guys crazy. And I'm like, dude, don't feel bad. Everyone is a 2-year life. It takes 2 years to go from here to ta-da.
And with us, it's a couple of days.
Yeah.
I mean,
To
seriously.
go to working
Well, yeah.
prototype.
So in our Epic tweeter, the tweeter mount,
grill.
the grill, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
was the original MB Quart grill, and what they were doing in the factory was they were honing it down, and I didn't even realize that it was the same driver that I used to use years ago. And we opened up the box, and there's this really badass new grill with, I think you saw at the show, it's got like the honeycomb look,
Okay.
right? So we have our meeting and say, hey, what's going on here? Like, we finally ran out of the old MB Quart grill because they had like 150,000 of these little grills.
Oh, nice.
Yes, you don't throw them in the garbage,
No,
right?
no,
You just
no.
so what they do is they repurpose, they shave them off, and made it work. But
So
that's
they
what,
shaved off the MB Quart.
yeah, yeah, that's all. I mean, and that's one of the things. Like we were talking with Oliver about, I forgot it was a change with the headphones, and he says, listen, our philosophy is we don't go backwards and make changes unless it's necessary, like a grill mount or whatever. We'll make a whole new product line, but we're not going to go back and make any changes. And that was like super, like it was weird and refreshing, right? Because you see other guys, they keep going back and they rehump, and they're like, no, screw it. We're just going to like the Alpha. We'll get to the unboxing. I'll show you some of the things. Like the Alpha used to be a stamped steel basket. Again, that was the old Discus series from any of you guys out there remember Discus. It was a stamped steel basket. It was for economy of scale, and he didn't want to sell this in the U.S. This was for China, the Chinese market. They wanted an inexpensive, high-end speaker. So Logan pressures them, and it's one of those, like I tell any of our dealers that get signed up, I'm like, you got to have those in stock, because I don't care anybody who comes in, if they can't afford anything more than that, you put in their card, they're going to love you for the rest of your life. So yeah, seriously. So unbeknownst to us, they just go ahead and start shipping the new Alpha kit for US. And I showed you guys at the show, the spider landing matches now the status. The basket is the same basket as a status. So you see what they did was and we just opened the box like, oh crap. You know, so they took this driver that was already good and made it better, right? So that was the change that they made, and now, you know, it's my favorite speaker because anybody who comes in and like, I got a tin ear, I can't, you know, like, I don't want to spend a lot of money. I put in their car, like, God, this sounds awesome.
I didn't pay for all this sound.
Wow, man, what's going on here? I'm like, well, all right, you can go up.
All right, so you send them an email that says, hey, man.
Yep.
And they're like,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know,
The email.
I'm good at this, by the way. I've done one or two of these. So we're looking at another company that might possibly be doing this, and so you're kind of like, bummer, but you know we're gonna keep selling it, obviously.
Yeah.
And at some point, that must have crossed in their mind, like, hey, here's Logan's email.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So actually, let me go back to that.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
the company they were working with actually was already getting ready to bring product in and start stocking it and distributing it. And something happened last minute. They didn't tell me, and I don't really want to know.
Yeah, that's between
It
them
fell
and
through,
them.
and I messaged them again. I said, hey, you know, I heard that the deal fell through. You know, do you maybe want to have a meeting? You know, we want to talk about our vision for the line. So we have a Skype meeting, and we basically, everything you hear us keep saying, we told them. We want to keep it tight. We want to make sure that, you know, people know about it, that, you know, it's not just everywhere, you know, because unfortunately when things are in too many places, sometimes, you know, reputations are formed because of a lack of education beforehand on how to use it properly and, you know, the correct way to go about.
You don't want to oversaturate the market with a bunch of stuff and then have people be like, it's just another Me Too crappy brand.
That's correct.
So
yeah.
you want to control the story.
Yeah, so we told them we want to do a slow, organic rollout, and that was apparently the magic words. Those were the magic words.
The other guys were going to bring in, like, you know, $3 billion worth of product. They had all these distributors lined up, and they were going to flood the zone, right? And, you know, some of the guys out there don't know how the whole distribution model works, but, you know, yeah, they make the big order, it goes in the warehouse, and eventually gets pushed to the back of the warehouse, and no one hears about it, doesn't see daylight, unless, you know, you have nerds like us who's like, oh, we love this brand.
And then they're selling it pennies on the dollar.
And the thing that, you know, when we came to them, we were lucky that we didn't need we didn't need money. We weren't doing this for any more cash flow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a lucky son of a gun. I work with my son and my wife. I have a CNC router in my shop. I have a laser cutter. I own my house. You know, so we just wanted to protect it, so it wasn't just thrown everywhere. You know, and you know, just treat it like garbage. You know, and we don't want to go back to the 2002 days, right?
Oh yeah, come on, it's lots of fun.
Well, that's what you know. The whole thing is that, you know, our program is set up for quality installers, quality shops. That's why we give a good warranty.
3-year warranty, right?
3-year warranty when
There
installed.
you go.
Yeah.
So what did Mr. Van Hoy ask? Because
All right, Mr. Van Hoy, is the Twitter the same, or
or did they soften it up? OG MB Quart
was too tiny?
It's too tiny for me.
Too
Okay.
tiny.
So softening up the tweeter, the biggest misconception about original MB Quart and German Maestro is that because they're metal dome tweeters, that they're harsh and they're apps. That's the farthest thing from the truth.
Well, also the tweeters completely changed from the original Qs. So on their status and M line, M is basically the replacement for old Q. They use what's called an ultrasphere tweeter. So it's a deep drawn inverted dome tweeter, and it's you know, when set up properly. I mean, you know, any of these tweeters you can drill your ears if you know, set the crossover to +3 and mount it, you know, right there. But you know, with proper installation and setup, these can be made to sound as smooth as any silk. You know, as any
So
silky
one
bullet.
naturally.
of the things with the drivers that we do now is the tweeter is 6 ohm out of the box.
Okay.
So that already gives you a natural 2 dB pad on the tweeter. Also, the motor force. I don't know if it was one of you two where I put the two. You should. We'll do the video. We'll do a demo where you put both tweeters in your hand, and the motor force pulls your hands together.
Oh wow.
So right. So we have a lot of motor force on all of our drivers. That's why our motors are very, very small. We don't need big honking T-yokes and plates and all that crap on our speakers because.
It is a decent sized tweeter though.
Yes, it is. It is. It's.
And what I like about that is it comes with the cover for the tweeter.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, because sometimes you just like grab the tweeter and
Yeah.
like, oh crap.
The only thing I'll warn any installer, anybody out there, if you are working with the M or the status tweeter, get a magnet and clean any debris off the counter, because these are vacuums for any kind of metal. Or the first kit that he installed, a screw, I watched it, a screw leapt to the tweeter. So just, there's a cover on there. And you know,
yes, there is a nice cover on
yeah,
it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, don't
That's a
take
nice
that
cover,
off
right?
until, like,
leave
like
it
the
on.
last minute that you're
Dean
gonna do
knows
this
there was a cover in there.
Oh yeah, I first I said, wow, they have covers. All right, so we've been talking for quite a bit. I think you guys have done an excellent job answering a ton of questions. I know Logan is chomping at the bit to pull these things out of the box and talk about some of the tech that we haven't had a chance to talk about. So, Fernando, why don't you fire that up, and we'll get to that portion of it where we can unbox them. We can talk about some of the technology that is there to be had. We'll let that fire up, and let's give it 1 second here. We'll see if camera 2 is up. Camera 2 is up and functioning. So why don't you head in there, Fernando, and start.
First.
We'll open up.
You know, let's do the alphas first, because you guys are really talking those up.
So this is the most humble, but definitely still high end. So like you guys saw,
You know, let's roll the table closer,
oh sure, yeah.
because
So we
Keep
go
it
through it.
you're good. You can fit between.
Okay.
All right,
So they have all the usual, you know, mounting information. You know how to use the flush and the proud mount tweeter. So this is for flush. It has a slight angle to it, so you can adjust it to be, you know, more on axis if you like. Basically, just kind of general installation tips to be aware of.
But please read it.
Oh.
No, I'm saying.
We're saying
For the guys, please
kidding.
read it.
we're
because-
taking a page out of Andy Waymeyer's unboxing.
No.
You know, read the instructions. It might have something that you might want to know the answers to.
Of course, yeah.
There's a lot in here, and if not, you can
It's
send
6
us an email.
pages, so it's a short read.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Quite short.
But it is 6 pages.
Yeah. So at the grills, everybody has grills.
No, you'd be surprised. Grills are almost useless nowadays.
Yeah.
That is
A
true.
lot of manufacturers have dumped the grills for brackets.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the bracket has kind of been the thing. You're shaking your head because you probably know this and have already had that conversation.
We have a lot of brackets coming.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
figured as much.
Oh yeah.
That's the bread and butter in America.
GM,
And also
Toyota,
we have
whatever.
flush mount adapters, and they work with everything from the alpha all the way up to M. So you can flush mount these in your doors. We have a great grill kit for that. But so this is how it comes. So as you'll see, and as you probably saw in their previous video, the basket's shared. This is a glass fiber reinforced nylon material. Tweeter standoff that is common to basically the entire lineup with the plastic.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Sure.
Why is that one cool black and that one's blue?
So
Sorry.
It should be mustard yellow.
It should be mustard yellow,
Technically,
yeah.
it should
I
be
mean,
yellow.
okay,
Yeah.
is that what we're looking at? Yeah.
So,
Okay.
So these are color coded to the line. So like alpha is black. It really should be mustard yellow. Concept is green. Epic is red, and status is blue. to
Okay.
match
Yeah, you see the blue.
Yeah, we've seen the blue. Oh yeah. I got the stickers.
Yeah. So cone, it's done in house. Rubber surround in house. Tweeter diaphragm stamped in house. And actually, you old school MB Quart guys will recognize this tweeter because they used this in about 1 billion different drivers back then.
Even me not being the biggest MB Quart
Yeah.
guy, I immediately looked at that and go, MB Quart.
Yep.
You
The
can't.
thing that kept me up at night.
Yep.
So that is a classic, titanium dome MB Quart tweeter. The newer ones now have the inverted dome. They just found that works better on their upper lines. But even this, if you remember the classic MB Quart sound, this is like that, but even better because they've still, even on this one, they've continued to improve it over the years.
What does the back look like again? So it is bi-ampable if the spirit should move you.
Yep. You can clip these, and there is an inline crossover with the tweeter, but you can buy amp these if you desire.
Are they just unscrew? Oh no.
No, they're soldered.
Oh, they're
soldered,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, so the screw down is for the actual connection into the door.
Yep.
Yes.
Nice.
That's correct.
So you don't have to solder.
Yep.
If you don't want to, if you want to solder,
If you want to solder, you can. If you don't worry about it. Just don't twist the wires around. That's all I ask.
Twist the wires around. Twist
Yeah.
them around.
Don't do that.
Twisted is the best. Twisted.
But this speaker, visually, it's not something that's gonna like pop at you. And, we don't.
Well,
have,
MB
like-
Quartz was never known for their
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they were.
They were like, look, you can make a. If it sounds good, that's how you judge me.
Yeah.
And that's a speaker. So
That's
they German Maestro didn't change that, and that's one of the things I like about it. It's like, this is what we do. We make speakers. They sound good. If you want a speaker that looks pretty and sounds like crap, we're not your guy.
No.
Yeah. The best comparison I can say is that.
Not that it looks bad. I think it looks pretty nice.
No. It's a very German speaker. Everything's tight. All the tolerances are perfect. The best kind of equivalence I can say is that German Maestro is kind of like in the AMG of car audio. You know, like old
the
AMG.
AMG of car audio.
Wow.
The
Well-
gauntlet. has-
Because no matter what you get, you know, and I'm talking about old school AMG. You know, back in the day.
Okay.
You know, the old Mercedes, they were square. You know, but they were all black. They were the best of what you can get in, you know, whatever it is that you wanted. You know, they weren't going after being super flashy. Everything they did had a purpose.
Well, we are very Germanic as a company.
Yeah.
Like, you know, German Maestro is as German as you can get. It's
Yeah.
the whole philosophy behind everything. Even the packaging
Yeah.
is all, you know,
But yeah,
no,
like-
no frills, no fuss, no, you know, just put the technology into what you build.
Yeah, everything's hand tested. You know, they do a lot of hand assembly. So, you know, you're getting a, you know, bespoke driver basically every time you order one of these.
Well,
It's
what
pretty
I
cool.
like about it is, you know, the way the basket tapers in, because a lot of the times the manufacturers will make these kind of bulbous, and the
So
problem you run
bulky,
into
yeah.
is when you go to put it into the hole, the basket hits.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
you know, they've tapered this in rather nicely. So
That's good. That's good.
you know, it's like, keep the size magnet that you need, make it to where it will actually fit into something.
And actually, our basket design is to damp resonance. You know, so that's always you'll hear like older guys in our business talk about aluminum baskets and how they're designed to act as a heat sink. got a yellow flag?
Yeah,
Throw yellow-
that doesn't always work.
Throw a yellow flag on the field. Like, no, I was a kid. I'm like, that makes no sense. Like, how are you gonna wick that amount of heat out of a basket?
Like
It's
we were
to look
talking
good.
about earlier, that's the $100,000 heat sink.
Right, exactly.
All right, what do we have in this side?
This is a status kit. Again, makes this a little different. Is you were talking about the crossover mount. So we actually have the dimensions. So if you're doing a custom install, we have all your dimensions on the crossover and the different mounting solutions. So that we have tabs. We have tab mounts here on the side. I don't know if you can see them.
Yeah, yeah.
And what you do is you put the tabs in if you want to lay it flat, you want to go vertical, if you want to show off the crossovers, if you want to lay them down. Here's our tweeter attenuation. And you notice there's no light bulbs. No light bulbs.
Yeah.
Hey, one other thing too is that in the bag for the grill is the German Maestro logo, a little aluminum piece.
Are you trying
So-
to steal it?
If you want to stick it onto the factory grill, they're not part of the grill.
Yeah.
So here. Oh, sorry. So this is your tweeter attenuation. So we go down as low as 5 dB. So depending on your placement, example, what makes this driver really unique. Oops, sorry about that. We should have brought this out. So where's that alpha? Can I have the alpha again,
Yeah.
please?
Yeah,
Yeah,
one
this is
second.
gonna.
Oh yeah, and the crossover is biamp.
Oh yeah, and you can buy. Sorry, yes, you
Yeah.
can buy amp.
Yeah, you just remove
Take the
these
jumpers
two.
out. I think Dean talked about this
Yeah.
a few weeks ago.
Yes.
But so just to show you that what we did here, you see your spider landing on. So we upgraded the spider landing and the basket. It's the same basket as a status. So for $225 retail, you got the DNA and the soul of this driver. Same mid-bass driver, just motor's different. A beefier motor on this here, bigger voice coil. And as you go up the line, that's the secret to what we do. Here, you go ahead and take that off. I got the rest of the. So what's unique about this kit and the Epic kit is that it's
See, we trying when we open it up.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, let's try it, and they're like, no, let's not break it.
let's come over here. Let's do a demo here.
Sure.
Go over here where it's out of the way.
Sure.
So here we'll show
Here,
you.
so
So,
give me the. So basically, the way his work is. So on the Epic line, it's actually magnetic, but the status tweeter is so heavy that it just wouldn't work.
You have to clip it in.
So basically all you do is you take it, twist it counterclockwise.
It's in there pretty good.
And then, so the way that this mounts is take your tweeter wires and you go through this hole right here that's indented. When this passes through, you fold these like that. So
There's a screw that goes in the center.
yeah, there's a screw that goes in the middle here. I'm gonna just do it without it.
Yeah.
To save showing. So you pass these through whole piece. And cut. Well,
Yep.
don't want to be screwed in, but there it is. And then these you can then route out to here. And if you look on the side here, we have 2 sets of positive and 2 sets of negative terminals. So you can cut off the soldered part, strip it, and just put it in there with whatever wire you have going out. You can solder it to the terminal, or if you're feeling frisky, you can just run the wire straight off.
And that's why we have the minus 5 dB on the tweeter, because if it's in the coaxial configuration, you're going to want to cut that back.
Yep.
But and here's
Depending
on the guy,
yeah.
yeah. But there's the dome. You can see that.
That is stamped in Germany.
And the 4 little holes are for the grill.
Right. So if you see these 4 little holes, right, these 4 little dots, 4 dots go here, and then that screw goes in, so it aligns it properly on there. Locks it. See how it locks it in?
Oh, and one thing that's very important that they actually include a card for it. That's the hazard card here. So you have to put the screw in the back because that forms the resonant chamber in the tweeter. It was so tight that they had no way to do that and include the screw mount. So the screw actually seals the backside of the tweeter here and allows it to form correctly. If you don't put that in, you will blow up the tweeter.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, please.
Make sure you get that screw in. Yeah.
Yeah, and they also come with flush grills for the tweeter. So if you're going to do like a custom installation, you can see the side there. Really nice fitment. Same material that we make our baskets with. And we also have you can order these. I should have brought a set. Forgot them. We have these really cool recess rings that you can go back to the Knowledge Fest video, where you can mount these things indoors and it looks like you did 10 times the work, but you really didn't. It's amazing.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. Trust me. Listen, hey, the lazy high-end installer, right?
Well, actually, if you look at the Knowledge Fest video on the car audio display, the brown one, all of those speakers that are mounted on there were done with the recess grill, so you can see they're not standing off. They look like they're
Nice
basically
and
flat
flush.
with the
Nice.
with the display.
Yeah, we did a high-end budget build.
Let's go back to the main cam.
We did a high-end budget build in our store, an F-250, and it was a memorial truck. The guy was getting ready to do he lifted the truck and had all stuff done. He passed away, and so we did this memorial vehicle for him. And it was on a budget, so they gave me this really tight budget, but they wanted high-end. And
Always. Isn't
yeah,
that how it
always.
works? Yeah.
And we did the I believe we did the concept line. It's on our Audio Props website. As simple as I just took the standard door panel, built a plate, fiberglassed it in, sanded. I did very little work. Did the recessed rings, and I had them wrapped with leather from a local shop. And when I took it to them, like, man, we gave you a budget, and you blew the budget. I'm like, actually, we didn't. You know, we really didn't blow the budget. And they're like, well, you made these custom flush grills. I'm like, they didn't know that. So we have these grills that come in standard.
Right.
But when you get the flush grills, when they lock in and when you tighten them up, they compress, like, especially if you're going to like any kind of leather or vinyl. We use this material called Landau foam, which is it's what they use on Landau roofs, the old rag tops and fake rags. And when you do the vinyl, they do the 1/8 inch. When you do the vinyl, and you take our recessed rings and you tighten them up, they just press enough where it looks like you did a lot more, but that's what's in the box. We have that for the 4-inch, 5 1/4, 6 1/2. We're gonna have an 8-inch recessed ring coming out.
Nice.
And also probably one for the 3-inch as well.
And one for the 3-inch,
2.5,
yeah.
whatever size ends up being.
Well, let me ask you this before we wrap it up here. Is there anything that you would like them to know? Obviously, the website we can go to real quick.
I'm really good at dancing. I'm a good dancer. Oh, that's not what they want to know.
Okay.
So you can find them at GermanMaestroUSA.com.
Yeah.
That's GermanMaestroUSA.com. You guys make headphones too.
We do.
So click in this one.
Okay, hold on. Go back to Nano's laptop.
So if you click in product, and then it's gonna pop the product that you guys make.
Right, exactly.
Right, and then there you go.
Yeah, we have
headphones.
So right now the home audio product is off of there because the manufacturer was manufacturing our home audio cabinets during COVID. They just shut the doors and they moved on. So they don't have a manufacturer we don't make the cabinets in house on our high-end, on our home cabinets. We're going to be working on something here in the U.S. In 2022, but we manufacture headphones in house. We have the Emma and the IASCA. That's we gave you guys a demo. Yeah. Those are IASCA certified and Emma certified, and we just learned about the Emma certification because the IASCA guys in Taiwan bought like 25 sets, and we were depleted. We went to a high-end show, Steel Valley Regionals.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they sent us the Emma headphones, and I'm like, oh, they're the same headphone. so the standard, it's the same headphones.
I mean, you would think.
Yeah.
But it worked out good for us because we didn't realize that the Steel Valley show, I guess whenever you entered, you did IASCA, Emma,
Mecca.
Yeah.
They got to meet Jeff Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've known Jeff Smith for a lot of years. He came by the booth and said hi.
Yeah.
Yeah, good guys. Yeah, we made a lot of friends over there, but yeah. So we gave for the winners, the top 3 got the Emma certified headphones.
Yeah, the
Nice.
835D, 835D Mobile, 835D IASCA, 835D Emma. They're all the same sound.
It's a good. So we're not pushing headphones on anybody.
Oh, no, I was just.
But I'm gonna say something to all the guys out there. If you really are interested in sound quality, call a local dealer. Or, we'll figure out how to get you a set. You really should use those headphones because the reason why we introduced them. So when 95 or 94, when I worked for a company called Straightwire, I was the one who initiated IASCA I contacted Krell and I forgot the other companies, but we set up for the sound quality judges an actual home audio listening kit. Because when I always judge sound quality, and I always had high-end home audio at home, as a car audio installer and sales guy, and I would ask guys in the lane, hey, what do you have for home? And they're like, nothing, I only know my car. And I said, well, how do you have a point of reference of what something should sound like in a car if you don't listen at home? Perplexed me. So that's what, I know, it's perplexing. I still have a turntable, and it's I still listen to good music.
Do you have 2 turntables?
And a microphone. And you know what the funny?
That's where it's at.
You know what the funny thing is? I actually have in my house 2 turntables, and I keep forgetting about one, right? Because I have the Panasonic, the SL 1200, I think it is.
He's a true home audio nerd when he knows the model number.
Yeah. I was supposed to bring. So I have a Macintosh amplifier. We're supposed to bring up to Tampa. There's a repair shop for a Macintosh. And the goddamn thing weighs like 89 pounds or something like that, and we're running out of time, and I have a slight pinched nerve in my neck, so I don't want to mess it up, but yeah, it's the same amplifiers that the Grateful Dead used on tour.
Nice.
All right, they took 47 of these amplifiers, Macintosh amps, on tour.
That makes sense.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, that's what I would do.
It's the Deadheads, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Smoke a lot of weed, a lot of acid, and lift up heavy-ass amplifiers.
Or not. Maybe tomorrow, bro. That's why the concerts were so long.
Later, dude.
You want to keep playing or remove those amps? Keep playing.
But yeah, I've always been, a geek. I grew up with, working class parents. They worked, they were salt of the earth, hardworking people, and I was lucky enough to get into a private school because my dad traded cleaning the private school so I can go there. And
nice.
Right in front, I was like 13, there was a high-end home audio shop, and there was actually Sound Advice too right next door, but this was right in the back, and I walk in and the guy's like, hey, you want to hear something? I was like, I don't have 3 nickels to rub together. And he said, sit down, I listened to whatever the hell they were back in the day. You could have been anything. And I came home and I told my mom and dad, I'm like, all this crap's got to go. We need new speakers in the house. My mom's like, what are you talking about? They would shop at like Kmart or whatever, buy their stereo. Typical, right?
Yeah.
And here I'm this, little geek who, you hear something and you can't go backwards.
No.
And that's why I've, been in this business so long. I still, to this day, and he'll tell you, we finish a car, and I'm still jazzed. I'm not jaded about that. I just still love. We just did a about 3 months ago. We did a Toyota Tundra, like as straightforward of a system as you can do. We did pair of Epic in the front door, pair of Epic in the rear door, a DSP amplifier. We used the pack, the pack
Amp
piece,
Pro.
Amp Pro
Uh-huh.
with fiber optic, DSP, and I'm sitting in the car with Logan. I'm like, what the hell do? We have, you know, a line converter, right? A high-end line converter, not a cheap one.
Yeah,
You know,
a little bit more, but yes.
fiber
Right.
optic cable to a 4-channel DSP amplifier, 2 pair of speakers, and some sound deadening. I swear to God, we did more to the car than we did. And the customer came, and he's like, "What did you guys do?" I'm like, "We just did 4 speakers and an amp and a bypass." And he's like, "What sub is in here?" I said, "Well, we disconnected your factory sub. It's just the doors, the 6x9s." He couldn't believe it. Yeah, so that's
Nice.
what, and I'm still excited about it.
I mean, that's what
Yeah.
it takes, though. I mean, yes. I mean, I feel if we're going to be doing this for a living, if you want it to be fun, then it can't be a job.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, well, it's never been a job for me. When I discovered that I'm in the unique business that no one needs and everybody wants.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Exactly.
100%.
I'm glad I discovered it when I was young, right? Because it's like, yeah, I haven't worked a day in my life doing this. This is crazy. I mean, it's amazing. You know, and
Well-
hey, any of you DIYers out there, you know, Paul and I were talking about this today. Either start a shop or get into a bay. We need guys. Don't just keep doing it for yourself, you stingy bastards. Like get into this business. I'm telling you, get into this business. It's just a great. It's tough. You're not going to get rich, but it's awesome.
rewarding.
It's very rewarding. I love it.
Yeah.
I still love it. We went to that Steel Valley show, and there was like 49 or 47 like sound quality cars, and like. I wanted to listen to every one of them, but I was like, I listened to 5. I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm like in the Holy Land here, right? I mean, it was like
Yeah.
Mecca,
Yeah.
you know, and that's what it's all about, you know. It's having fun, right?
Well, I think that brings us to the end of this week's show.
Yeah.
We want to thank you guys for making the trip out here. And
Thanks, guys. Thanks
as
for
I
having
said,
us.
if anyone is interested in learning about more, head over to GermanMaestroUSA.com.
And our Facebook page, German Maestro USA on Facebook.
There we go.
So what's the question?
Ken's going to open a beer.
I gotta send Paul some beer up there.
There you go.
But yeah, it's like ask your dealers in your area. You know,
Yeah. If you're
ask about
interested.
German Maestro if you're interested.
Do you have there is a dealer locator.
There's a dealer
online.
locator. Yep, there is.
Okay.
All right. Well,
There's a
there
dealer
you go.
locator.
All right, guys. Well, that's the hour. Thank you so much for tuning in on this special Friday show. It has definitely been fun and exciting,
Oh,
both
yeah.
at the same time, which is always
Oh,
nice.
totally.
Fernando, pop back in real
All right,
quick.
guys.
Don't forget, tomorrow is Saturday, which means we'll be doing the regular 6
Again.
o'clock show here on the same channel, which is kind of nice. We'll be taking all your questions, answering, doing all that fun stuff that we normally do. And, well, next week, well, let's just get through this week. You guys have a great night as always. We'll see you later next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
See ya.